I think one of the most important things I found so far for Christian women is that I think we're mistranslating the word anxiety in the New Testament. The Greek word merimnao, which is translated like in the Sermon on the Mount, like you're mentioning, Jessie, like do not worry about what you're going to eat, do not worry about what you're going to wear. Or in the story of Mary and Martha, when Jesus says to Martha, 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 you're worried and distracted by many things. It's the same word. It's the same word that's used in Philippians, where Paul says, be anxious for nothing. It's the same word that's used in 1 Peter, when 1 Peter says, like, cast your cares and your worries. Like, this is all the same word, but it's translated in a lot of English Bibles as worry or anxiety. But because anxiety has taken on such a medicalized definition in our current culture, I think that anxiety is no longer a good translation of that word, because I think that anxiety should rightly be used in English as an anxiety disorder. And I think the medicalized definition is important. And so if you're not careful, you end up with pastors preaching that people with anxiety disorders are sinning. And that is bad translation, bad exegesis, and bad pastoral care. And I wrote a paper on this a couple years ago for one of my New Testament seminars. And I found so many examples of sermons where pastors were preaching, if you're anxious, you are in sin and you need to knock it off, which is mind-boggling. No, if you have generalized anxiety disorder, you need medication and support. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not sinning. It's not a character flaw. So I think we need to be really careful with how we translate and use and preach about that word. I think that a better translation is do not be unduly concerned. I think it's a manner of degree and focus and priority. Jesus is saying to Martha, you are divided of mind. You are torn in many directions. In IFS language, I would say, Martha, you've got polarized parts right now. Like part of you wants this and part of you wants this, and I'm seeing the polarization on display. You don't need to be divided of mind. Actually, the most important priority is the kingdom of God. The serving work that you're doing is important, but you don't need to be torn between the two. It's okay to sit at my feet and learn as a disciple, like Mary's doing, and you don't need to worry. And in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is saying, you don't need to worry because I'm going to teach you a different emotion to construct, which is a reflection on the past faithfulness of God and a forward-looking hope and faith that God will continue to take care of you. And then in Paul's context, he's talking a lot about like the people of God are going to take care of each other. So you don't need to worry. You don't need to be unduly concerned or divided of mind, because instead you can construct this hope and this faith that God and God's people are going to look out for you and take care of you. You will be provided for